So last time I started on one of the most challenging and daunting endeavors I have ever done on this channel, placing all of the Mario games into one coherent timeline. And although I'm starting to see this was a bad idea and I should not have done this, I'm gonna keep going in this video. Last time we got all of the plot-based games and plot-relevant games into a single timeline. And today we're going to go back and place most of the spin-off games within that timeline. But before we do that, I have a few corrections to make. Some people have pointed out some mistakes I made in the first video, and I'd like to correct them. Most notably, Rosalina is playable in the Switch 2 version of Super Mario Bros. Wonder, so that means it does have to take place after Galaxy. That's fine. It's not like it was important to that timeline or anything, and it's not like any of the games nobody talked about today are actually going to be dependent on that or anything. And it's not like I had to rework a bunch of games in this timeline just because of that information. So it's fine. It's fine. Thank you, Nintendo. Thank you for giving me a bunch of rewrites I had to do that delayed this video. Thank you. Also, I'm moving Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker to before New Super Mario Bros. U, because in the DLC for the Switch version of Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, the Toads acquired a Super Crown which appears in New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. Thank you again, Nintendo, for making changes and additions to the Switch ports of your Wii U games that completely mess with the timeline I've been building here. On top of that, I apparently made a few mistakes with Yoshi's Topsy-Turvy. Apparently, Bowser didn't turn Yoshi's Island into a pop-up book. It was Pongo trying to stop Bowser. My bad. And at the end of the game, Bowser swears revenge on Yoshi, which most likely led to the events of Super Mario World, so I am moving Yoshi's Topsy-Turvy to right before Super Mario World. So, with those corrections out of the way, let's move on to the main part of the video. Now, you might have noticed that I missed a few plot-based games, and that was very much intentional. Specifically, I missed Luigi's Mansion, Dark Moon, and Luigi Mansion 3, because those are actually going to be important for placing a lot of the spin-off games, and where they go actually is also dependent on where certain spin-off games have to go to make this fit. And I am not lying when I say that the Luigi's Mansion series will be the linchpin for tying the entire Mario timeline together and allowing me to place most of the spin-off games in relation to the main series games. I also did not include Mario Land or the Wario Land games yet, because I actually need to place some of the spin-off games in order to actually make those ones placements make sense. I also did not cover Mario vs. Donkey Kong because I still need to go over some spin-offs in order to make those ones placements make sense. I also didn't go over Princess Peach Showtime for the same reason, or Dr. Mario, because those ones we're saving for the end because those ones are very complicated. I also did not cover Donkey Kong Country yet, because we have yet to see Donkey Kong the Third in any games in the timeline yet, so I actually have to wait for the spin-offs in order to explain his placement in the timeline. Now that we've gotten the main skeleton of the timeline done, let's start throwing in some of those spin-off games. First off, we have Yoshi Touch and Go. This is just a minigame spin-off of Yoshi's Island, and it takes place the same exact time and it's the same exact story as Yoshi's Island. After that, we have Pinball for the NES, which slots in nicely between Wrecking Crew and Donkey Kong Circus. It can come before or after Greenhouse, it doesn't really matter, they don't interact with each other. But we notice because Pauline is in the game, suggesting Pauline and Mario are already dating at this point. However, Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. are not in the game, suggesting comes before the Donkey Kong games. After that, we have Donkey Kong Jr. Math and Donkey Kong Hockey, which fit in right after Donkey Kong 3. Now that Donkey Kong is no longer busy fighting Italian carpenters / plumbers and greenhouse owners, he now has time to do other stuff like teach his son math and play hockey. After that, we have the game simply titled Yoshi, also known as Yoshi no Tamago or Yoshi's Egg in Japan, as well as the game Yoshi's Cookie. These games both slot in right after Super Mario World. Now, these are both puzzle games without any plot, but I decided to put them after Super Mario World because they have both Adult Mario and Yoshi in them, and they rip sprites and artwork from Super Mario World, so After that, we have Mario Clash, which comes after the two previously mentioned games. We know it has to come after Super Mario World because Yoshi appears in it, even though it's just a cameo in the background and on a congratulations screen, which isn't the best evidence. But also, we know it has to come here because although the game is heavily based on the original Mario Bros., the turtle enemies in it are Koopa Troopas and not Shell Creeps, which were the enemies in the original Mario Bros. After that, we have Mario's Tennis, not to be confused with Mario Tennis, which comes after Mario Clash. We know it comes after all of the games before it in the timeline because this game features while not an adult, a much older Donkey Kong Jr. than we've seen previously. We also know it comes before the other Mario Tennis games because looking at the artwork, Yoshi clearly does not know how to play tennis and is just eating the racket, as opposed to later tennis games where he actually does know how to play tennis. Also, he has not gone to the chiropractor yet, so it comes for all the games where his back is fixed. After that, we have Super Mario Kart for the SNES, which comes immediately before or immediately after Mario's Tennis. It's impossible to say which one it is, and it really doesn't matter. And we know it comes around Mario's Tennis because it too features a juvenile Donkey Kong Jr. After that, we have Mario Kart 64, Mario Party, and Mario Party 2, which I am placing after Super Mario 64. We know these games have to come after Mario's Tennis and Super Mario Kart because Donkey Kong the Third is present, while in the aforementioned games, Donkey Kong Jr. still seems to be a child. And we know these games have to come before Super Mario Sunshine since Bowser Jr. is not in them, though he's in the later Mario Kart games. And while he's not in any of the Mario Party games until Mario Party DS, the other Mario Party games have another reason that they have to be later than these that I will get to when we cover them. After that, we have Super Mario Land and Super Mario Land 2. Now, in the story mode of Mario Party 2, they actually show how Mario Land became Mario Land in God's name, and that Mario Land is presumably the same Mario Land from Super Mario Land 2. Now, that game takes place immediately after Super Mario Land 1, where Wario takes over Mario Land, where Mario is away saving Princess Daisy in Mario Land 1. And all of these events likely take place shortly after Mario Land is created and gets its name, and Mario wins it in Mario Party 2. And from there, the Mario Land series gives rise to the Wario Land series, which shoots off tangentially from the main timeline. So it happens concurrently with the rest of the main series after Mario Land 2, but it's happening concurrently in its own little tangent. And the order of these games is pretty much just release order, going Wario Land 2, Wario Land Virtual Boy, Wario Land 3, Wario Land 4, Wario World, Wario Master of the Skies, and Wario Land Shake It. After that, we have Mario Kart Super Circuit, which comes right after Mario Party 2 because it has the same exact roster as Mario Kart 64, but I'm just putting it after the two party games in order to space them out better, as well as Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix because the only additions to the roster are third-party characters, which don't really tell us anything about timeline placement. After that, we have Mario Golf, which takes place right after Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, since Baby Mario is playable in it, showing that by this point Mario has access to time travel. Immediately after that, we have Mario Tennis, which also has Baby Mario in it, and marks the first appearance of Waluigi. And we know this is the first time Waluigi appears chronologically, because all of the characters are shocked and surprised by him, except for Luigi for some strange reason.
Luigi's not a thing.
Immediately after that, we have Mario Party 3, which we know has to come after Mario Tennis because Waluigi is in it. And immediately following that, we have Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix 2, Mario Hoops 3-on-3, Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, and Mario Power Tennis, as well as its Game Boy Advance counterpart, Mario Tennis Power Tour. These games get placed here mainly due to their roster, who they have, most notably Waluigi and Daisy, as well as who they don't have, most notably Rosalina, as well as Boo being playable in 3 of these games, but King Boo not being playable, suggesting this comes after Luigi's Mansion, and King Boo isn't there because he got stuck in a painting at the end of Luigi's Mansion and he's still stuck in a painting. After that, we have Super Mario Strikers, which I am placing right after the 4 previously mentioned games. Though it could just as easily go a little bit later, since I can't really use the King Boo argument I used for the last few games, since there are no Boos in Mario Strikers, and there really can't be any Boos in Mario Strikers, since Boos can't really play soccer because they have no feet. And for similar reasons after that, I am placing Mario Party 4. Now, there are Boos in Mario Party 4, and King Boo doesn't appear, but Boos aren't exactly a playable character in it. They occupy a bunch of different roles as like a collective, but King Boo still isn't in it, so I still think there's a good chance it takes place before he got out of the painting. After that, we have Mario Kart Double Dash and Mario Superstar Baseball, which I am placing after the last few games I've mentioned because King Boo is in them, suggesting this takes place after he's escaped from the painting he was trapped in at the end of Luigi's Mansion, but before the events of Luigi's Mansion 2. After that, we have Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix. Yes, when I said I was doing all of the Mario games, I was serious. Which I am placing after Mario Superstar Baseball because Waluigi and Toadette are in it. And after that, we have Mario Kart DS, which comes right after the previously mentioned games. We know it has to come after those games because of the roster, and we know that it has to come before Dark Moon because King Boo is a boss in a single level of an obscure side mode, but it still counts. He's still in the game, so it has to come after he got out of the painting, but before he got put in a painting again in Dark Moon. After that, we have Mario Super Sluggers, which I am placing right after Mario Kart DS. Since both Waluigi and King Boo are in it, meaning it has to take place between Luigi's Mansion and Dark Moon. However, because Tiny Kong appears in this game, and it's not the child Tiny Kong we see in DK64, but rather the teenage Tiny Kong that we see later on, suggests that it comes a considerable amount of time after Donkey Kong 64, so I'm placing it as late as possible while still being before Dark Moon. Which is a perfect segue to our next game, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, which has to take place after all the games that have King Boo in it, except for the ones that take place before Luigi's Mansion 1, or that have to take place after Dark Moon for some other reason. After that, we have Mario Strikers Charge, and I was apparently wrong about Boos not being able to play soccer, because there are Boos in this game. How the hell do Boos play soccer? You don't have feet! Anyway, despite the fact that it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, Boos are in this game, King Boo is not in this game, therefore it most likely takes place after Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. After that, we have Mario Party 5. Once again, Boos are playable, King Boo is not, most likely because he is trapped in the painting again. And after that, we have Mario Party 6 and 7, with nothing to really tell us where they go other than that they come after Mario Party 5. Oh, and Mario Party Advanced, Mario Party DS, and Mario Party Island Tour all also probably fit in around here somewhere. After that, we have Mario Tennis Opens, which I am placing after New Super Mario Bros. 2 because it has Dry Bowser in it. And after that, we have Mario Party 8 and Mario Party 9, which I am placing right after Super Mario Bros. Wonder, because King Boo is in both those games and he's in Wonder, suggesting that all three of these games happen after he's escaped from the painting again. Which is followed by Mario Sports Superstar, Mario Kart Wii, and Mario Kart 7, which all have Rosalina in it, so they have to come after Super Mario Galaxy. Which is followed by Mario Kart 8, which has to come after Mario Kart 7. Mario Party 10, Mario Party Star Rush, and Mario Golf World Tour, which all have Rosalina in it, so they have to come after Galaxy. After that, I put Mario Golf Super Rush and Super Mario Party, which have to come after Mario Party 10 and Mario Golf World Tour since they are sequels to them. After that, we have next installment in the Mario Party series, Mario Party Jamboree. And then we have the story mode of Mario Maker 2, which I put here. It's kind of hard because there is not really much of a story. It's just a bunch of random challenges. But there are random cameos from characters and such. And one of them is Rosalina and other characters from Galaxy and like the game's similar place of time. So it makes sense here. After that, we have Mario Kart Tour and Mario Kart World, which I am placing after Super Mario Odyssey. This is because Pauline appears in both these games, and Odyssey is the first time she's appeared in this timeline so far since before the original Super Mario Bros. And with the exception of Mario vs. Donkey Kong series, which I will get to eventually, Odyssey is the first game in release order that she's appeared in since before the original Super Mario Bros. So it makes sense that both these games come after that. And since King Boo is in both these games, we know they have to come after Super Mario Odyssey. This is because Pauline appears in both these games, and Odyssey is the first time she's appeared in this timeline so far since before the original Super Mario Bros. So it makes sense that both these games come after that. before Luigi's Mansion 3. And speaking of which, the next game in our timeline is Luigi's Mansion 3, which we know has to come after all of the games that have King Boo in them that have to take place after Dark Moon. And after that, we have Mario Tennis Aces and Mario Strikers Battle League, which we know have to come at this point because Pauline is in both of these games, but King Boo is not. And with that, most of the games have been placed in the timeline, so let's go through and get most of the outliers we have left. First off, we have the Donkey Kong Country series, which, like the Wario Land series, is adjacent to the main Mario timeline. It's just what Donkey Kong and his related characters are doing while Mario is doing the stuff in the main timeline. And it starts around the same time as Mario Kart 64, since that is the first appearance of DK the Third in our timeline. Now, these just happen in release order, going Donkey Kong Country 2, Donkey Kong Country 3, Donkey Kong Country Returns, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. After that, we have Donkey Kong 64, which is pretty straightforward. It's a sequel to the original Donkey Kong Country trilogy, so it takes place right after Donkey Kong Country 3. After that, we have the Donkey Kong Land games. Now, these at first seem like they're just ports of the country games, but they apparently each have their own story different from the country games, so they're their own games and they come right after their respective country games. After that, we have DK King of Swings and DK Jungle Climber, which I am placing after Donkey Kong Land 3, because in these games, Wrinkly Kong is a ghost, and Donkey Kong Land 3 is the last time we see her alive. After that, we have the Donkey Konga games, and there's not a lot to really tell us where these go except for roster. So going off the roster, I'm just going to say that each of these takes place after the Donkey Kong Country game with the same name. After that, we have Diddy Kong Racing and Donkey Kong Barrel Blast, which I am placing after Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze because Tiny Kong is in these games and she's a teenager in these games. So I'm putting them here to put as much space between them and the games where she's a child as possible. And don't ask why Tiny Kong is a teenager while Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong are still children, even though they're older than her. We've already established that Kong aging makes absolutely no sense. Now let's move on to the few remaining Wario games. All of the WarioWare games happen after the Wario Land series, because Wario has money to actually make his own game series at this point. And where does he get all that money? Well, obviously from the Wario Land games. So after Wario Land Shake It comes WarioWare, followed by WarioWare Twisted, followed by WarioWare Touch, followed by WarioWare Smooth Moves, followed by WarioWare Snap, followed by WarioWare DIY, followed by WarioWare DIY Showcase, followed by Game on Wario, followed by WarioWare Gold, followed by WarioWare Get It Together, followed by WarioWare Move It. Except note that in WarioWare Move It, there is a past section where they travel back to prehistoric times, so that part of the game actually takes place at the very, very beginning of the timeline. Then, Mario and Wario comes after Mario Land 2, because Wario's castle is featured in it, and he gets that castle in Wario Land, and Wario Land 2 happens right after that, so this has to come after that, at least. Okay, now that we got the Donkey Kong and Wario games out of the way, let's move on to the last few Mario games. Super Princess Peach comes right before Mario 64, because King Boo is in it, so we know it comes before Luigi's Mansion, but also there are certain enemies in it which only appeared in Dinosaur Land in Super Mario World, so we can assume that it comes after that. And some people might think that this has to come after Super Mario Sunshine because Petey Piranha's in it. However, the Petey Piranha in Mario Sunshine isn't the real Petey Piranha. It's just a drawing made by Bowser Jr. After that, we have Mario Sports Mix. I'll put that around Mario Tennis Open. No King Boo and no Rosalina. Puzzles and Dragon Z Mario Edition comes after Mario 3D World, since there's a lot of references to 3D World, 3D Land, and Galaxy in it, as well as Rosalina. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, and thank you to all the people who left comments correcting some of the mistakes I made in the previous video. That was a big help in making this video. And so next time, we're going to be putting in the last few games that I skipped over because they were difficult to place, and diving into some games that it's debatable whether or not they're actually Mario games, but I still decided to include them anyway. The next one's not going to take anywhere near as long as this one took out. I had to make some corrections that made this video take longer, and then other stuff came up. But next one should be out much quicker.